Caviar returns to the races at Caulfield on Saturday in what looks to be an excellent 3-year-old plate race for him. He's stepping up to the 1400 metres. He couldn't have been more impressive when he resumed this preparation. He travelled well throughout the race, but I love the acceleration that he showed and how much he sustained that sprint to the line. I think the signs and the makings of a nice horse going forward looks in place for another nice run on Sunday. 2-9 Lizzy races in the 1000 Guineas Prelude, 3-year-old race over the 1400 metres for the 3-year-old fillies. She looks in tremendous order. Phil, she's really settled down nicely and settled in well to the surrounds at Flemington. She's enjoying her training there. It was a good effort when she made her debut in Melbourne. I thought she stuck on very, very bravely. She had a little bit of time between runs. She's returned to the jump outs, and I thought she looked particularly sharp. So hoping to see some further improvement here. The Ethereal Stakes looks like a lovely opportunity for Kilcare Beach Girl to take that next step in her career. She raced very well over the mile at Group 2 level there last start. She stuck on nicely for a third placing. That was only a second run this preparation, so she's getting up to a more suitable trip this time in. She's going to be much better and fitter for that run. And she gets the services of Tim Clark here, who knows the filly very well. Blinkers go off, stepping up to this distance, but she looks a nice natural staying filly for us going forward. Elias will represent the stable in this year's running of the Caulfield Cup. Looks to be a lovely race for him. It's been a target for him. I thought his run in the lead-up race in the Turnbull Stakes was excellent. It was full of merit. And the run we certainly wanted to see from him leading into the big race. Tricky draw to contend with, but he's got nice tactical speed. Look to utilise that, put himself in the race. It looks to be a genuinely run Caulfield Cup this year. I think he's looking for the 2400 metres now. He's had an excellent campaign. He's had an excellent lead-up. Had a really good grounding for this. And he looks very well placed here. This year we're represented with 2 runners in the Everest. The real focal point of Sydney racing. Lady of Camelot, she's got to begin from a wide draw out of barrier 11. She's the forgotten horse in the race. She was excellent when first up at weight for age level in the Moya Stakes. She stuck on very well. I thought she certainly proved herself at that level on that particular occasion. She was unsuited by the race shape and the weight scale of the shorts. And since then, she's returned to the trials and looked particularly sharp. Storm Boy's drawn nicely in barrier 5. He'll look to, no doubt, be positive, utilise his tactical speed and be positive in the run. I feel the 3 weeks since his run in the Golden Roads, he's really freshened up nicely. Looking forward to seeing him back to the 1200 metres. And I feel he's in really good shape. The King Charles Stakes is certainly going to be a very exciting race. The presence of Pride of Jenny in the race this year certainly opens up the field and is going to make it a truly run mile and a good test. I feel that's what Major Bill's looking for at this point of the preparation. He's got good tactical speed himself. He drawn inside Pride of Jenny. Feel he's going to enjoy and appreciate the strongly run race. And I feel that's really going to bring a bit of stamina into play here, which we know he's got plenty of, being a Derby winner. I feel he's been very consistent in his races this campaign. He looks well in himself. I think he'll run a bold race for us. Bases Loaded returns to the races on Saturday. After what was a slightly disappointing run from him there last start, the Shannon Stakes, he does drop back to the 1300 metres here in the Silver Eagle. It'll be a nice platform and a nice lead up to the Golden Eagle race itself. But he's tried to freshen up nicely. I think he'll, if he can offset the wide draw that he's got, he'll be able to put himself up on pace. I think he'll appreciate getting back to Randwick at this point of his preparation. He looks in good shape, and I thought he worked up nicely. Military Mission's in good order. I feel he's running better than what his form may suggest. He didn't have much luck there in the running in the Metropolitan there last Saturday. I think he'll really appreciate getting out in distance here in the St Ledger Stakes to the 2600 metres. He's at the point of his preparation now where I feel he's ready to put in a peak performance. So with a little bit of luck, I think we can see a more forward showing from him. Dominetta looks to be in excellent order. She's going from strength to strength in everything that we've seen from this filly in her work. She's taken plenty of confidence off a last start maiden win. She returned to the trials and just had a nice tick-over trial just to keep her up to the mark. I thought she looked excellent the way she travelled throughout the trial, how strong she was through the line. Work's been right up to the mark since. She is stepping out into stakes grade here, but I feel she's a nice filly with plenty of improvement. Too Much Caviar's returning to the races off a disappointing run last start. I feel we've been able to freshen him up nicely. He's returned to the trials and certainly looks to be back to his, ready to bounce back to his best here in the big dance wild card. The 1600 metres distance, I feel, is his real sweet spot. I think he'll enjoy the strongly run race at the Randwick Mile, and feel he's ready to bounce back for us. Gber returns to the races. He's first up in an 88 handicap over the 1400 metres. Traditionally, the 1400 metres been a little bit short of his best. He's a horse that's going to improve as he can get over further, but I feel he's come back in good shape. He's nice and forward for his first up run. He just may need further later in his campaign. Chba returns to the races at Newcastle on Saturday. Feels an honest effort from him on debut, but I do feel he's certainly open to improvement off the back of that run. I feel we've seen that in his work. Naturally, he's much better for the race experience. He's fitter and more forward going into this run. Just a couple of small gear changes I think can help extract the best out of him on Saturday, because no doubt he's capable of winning a race at this grade. Tatto's returning to the races off just a slight freshen up. I feel she's a mare that looks in good shape physically. She looks really well. She should take improvement for that freshen up that she's had. 1200 still may be a little bit on the short side for her. She will appreciate getting out in trip in time, but she's nice and forward for a return to the races. Invincible Duchess makes her career debut at Nowra in a maiden handicap over the 1200 metres. Been really impressed with the significant improvement that we've continued to see from her between trials. She's going to take good natural improvement off this first up run, but going off the improvement that we saw into her second trial, she's certainly done enough to be very competitive here first up.